Hi YouTubers, Gil. So on this video, I'm going to share with you guys my record collection. Although, I mean, it's like I'm not really doing records anymore. Like, I still have some of my original records. Still have some. And today I'm going to share with you, like, the life with records. You know, like using records and playing music. Like how I used to do music with the records and stuff. So, I'm going to first start it off with, let me see. I'll put on my camera. Hang on, I'm trying to, hoping that well anyway, so I don't have to carry my camera, you know. Well anyway, so, back in my day, like, these records, I'm the original owner of some of these, you know. Like this one, for instance. And like some of these I'm the original owners of. Or they were actually my brother's, Hector's. But, I mean, eventually it went away to me, you know. Like some of these, you know. And then over here. Then over here, it's like, some of these I collected over, like, in 2000 or like some of this, like some of these older ones. I like these older stuff. And then, you know, well, this one, I think I'm the original owner of this one, but it got ruined with the water. Got ruined. Some of these got ruined with the water. But anyway, I'm gonna take some of these out so I could. This one, my mom had this one since like the 60s. This is the original record of my mom's. And then this record here. This one, we had the 8-track version of this. This is a great memory, you know. And this. Wow, 9 o'clock, not the 9 o'clock news. Street rap, here's a good one right here. And then, you know, let's see. This is one of this is records that I bought back in my day. This is something that my mom had for a long time too. And then this musical youth. A lot of these got ruined with the water, you know. I have the cassette of this. And then this is an album I really loved. I mean, well, I think it was just Our House I really liked out of that, you know. And then this. These are some of these older records, you know. Super Trooper. Like some of these are like, these are the 80s stuff that I kept. Yeah, we had this as kids, you know. We had in the 70s, you know. Yeah. Well, like a lot of these I collected over the years, like in the last, like, since 2000, but, I mean, like, these records were records that we bought. We bought the cassette version of these back in the day. Miss Turner. And I'm the original owner of some of these, like this one is. I'm the original owner of this, and I think, no, not this one, but some of these I'm the original owner of. But some, well, anyways, I'm original owner of this one right here. And then these, expose. Probably the original owner of this too. Cynthia. Electric Breakdance. All these records, you know. Commodores. Yeah, I'm the original owner of some of these. Like this one right here. This is a big album. Yeah, this was like a big hit for us, you know. I took pride in owning this back in the day, 1983. This record. Look at these, all the good stuff. I'm gonna play one of these right now. Fat Boys. Remember the Fat Boys? So I'm gonna play this one. one of these. This one, I'll play this one. I'm gonna play this record. See, I want to play this song called Electric Boogaloo, Radiotron, Didnt. I like the song Believe in the Beat. I like that song.
Don't know which way I wanna go, and I can't find what I want to do once more.
See, remember that? See, if we moved it by accident, it would jump. See that? So you have to be careful not to move the player or bump it or anything, because it would cause a needle to jump, and it can possibly scratch the record too. I'm gonna play another song. I think Didnt. I don't know, I think it's this one.
You can't have nothing if you're
Remember that? See, that's what we used to have to do. Like, and then if we wanted to record music, we would just go to we would get the cassette. Well, back in my days, I'm gonna play just another song. Play more stuff. I'm gonna play a random thing. Well, there's a record right here. I mean, I'm not sure where it's at now. Well, anyways, I'm gonna look for it anyway. So I mean, these records I collected over like 2000, you know. Like, I'll just play a random record. I like this song. And then we used to collect
fluid ounces, contains natural and artificial flavoring, caramel coloring.
Man, I like this type of music, you know. It's different than what we have today, you know. It's very different, and I like it. And then I'll play this song. Wait a minute. There's another. Actually, it's not this one that I want to play. Well, if I can't find it, that's okay. Just gonna play whatever. Looking for a specific record. Well, anyway, see, this is what we would do. You know, that's what we used to do. I wonder if you remember this. Katy Joy. Remember Katy Joy? I found this record in the 2000s or 90s or something, and then this is a song I like in here. Number 3. We would put in the record, and then we put on the well, it's a Christmas song.
fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Yuletide carols, deep sunlight, a choir of souls dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows.
So, I'm gonna play a tape. Well, and then if we wanted to record the music from the record,
Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh.
and then to play the tape back, oh wow. I don't know how it works.
Offering this simple phrase to kids many times, many ways. Merry Christmas to you.
Another record that I like. So, anyways, and then the record's playing. I like this music. I love the music on this. Santa Claus is coming to town. I like it.
Was another Christmas, the night of the
We could cue it. Wow.
was another Christmas, the night of the the spectacles were hung by the chimney with care. Everyone said Santa Claus will be there.
You see that drop? You see the drop of the record that I just did? Wow, that's something they have to be very careful with these records, because when you drop them, they often will break. And they're really easy to scratch too. I mean, like a lot of these records, when we play them, you know, we often have to clean them up. We have to dust them. You know, we need the cloth to clean the records, so that way it's not gonna so it's not gonna skip, or that way dust is not gonna collect. We had to do that, you know, whenever we played records, because if the dust would collect on these the stylus, then it's not gonna play it properly. So these records, that's what I had back in the day. So this was my this was our MP3s right here. This was our MP3s along with cassettes that we had, you know, like a bunch of these that we had, and we would go ahead and record some of these records onto these, and these were sort of like memory cards where you would record your music onto these cassettes, and those cassettes acted like memory cards, but these records were more like cartridges, you know, like game cartridges, like But the thing was, like, these were our MP3s back in the day. And so, well, anyway, and then what else do I have to say? I'm thinking, what else do I gotta say? I was gonna ask a question, like, about, like, what do I think of all this? What do I think of all this experience? Well, I mean, this is what we had, you know, and I was happy with it. I mean, this is what was available for me back then, and I lived with it. But you know what I always did was I just recorded the records onto cassettes. You know, like I recorded all the records, or I used to record off the radio. And I mean, I never used to really use the records to play the music. I used to just like to use the cassette mostly, but occasionally we would go ahead and use the records. But I mean, in my days, I never really used to use records that much, except to record music off of them. You know, I used to buy the records, and then we would record the music and then put away the record, because it was more convenient for me to use cassette, you know, and plus, I mean, it's not as fragile, because these records are really fragile, you know. You have to be very careful not to do anything bad on the needle of the record, you know, the stylus. You have to be careful not to accidentally drop it on the record, or you gotta be careful not to push the needle too hard on it, because it's gonna scratch the record. And of course, we had to clean the records almost every time we put it on, you know, like you had to clean off the dust, so that way it's not gonna get caught, all the dust won't get caught on the stylus, and then it's going to cause a record to not play properly. It's going to like have a distorted sound, you know. So anyway, that was back then, you know. This is what I had available in my days, 80s. But I mean, today, what do I think of them? What do I think today? Well, I mean, I would never really go back to these records, except for just like doing what I just did, sharing what I used to do. I mean, except for vintage or nostalgia purposes, you know. That's the only thing that I would agree on using. Well, it's the same thing with all of the old technology, like the cassettes, you know, stuff, you know. But records, you know, like what I think of them is like they're just too fragile. Records are too fragile, and they're way too bulky to carry around, and it just won't work. Records just wouldn't work in my experience. Well, for me, records just would not work because they're just too bulky and it's too fragile. Too bulky and fragile, and that's all I have to say about these records, you know. And yeah, they're fragile. Like, you have to be careful not to put it in the sun even for a couple minutes, because it'll ruin the record. It'll warp it up. And so, like, you know, imagine, like, for the DJs. Well, today's DJs, they do records today. In today's DJ, but realistically, they don't. They just use these time-coded vinyls, records, you know, these records, but they really don't use records. Only some do. Some DJs do. But I mean, because we're all with the new technology, or the latest technology, which is MP3s and the computer and stuff. I mean, even me, I have to say that I would not go back to records, because I only did the records because that's what was available back then. But in my days, you know, records were the format to get, or they were like the big thing to get in those days. In the days, it was actually preferred, because in those days you could record off of them, you know. Well, and that's what we used to want the record for. I mean, well, we used to buy the records because it was always recommended, it was always advisable to do the record because we could record off of them. But with cassettes, unless we had a double cassette recorder, we could not double record them. But getting the cassette versions of these things, I mean, you had to be careful with the cassette because they're so small. I mean, since the cassettes are small, it's easy for someone to steal them, you know. But not only that, you can ruin them in your tape players. But records are just as fragile, you know, either way. I mean, well, cassettes were not fragile like records were, but they're just so small that it's easy to steal, you know. It's easy for someone to snatch it in our pocket, and that's what happened to us a couple times, several times, you know, actually. Well, anyway, so that's what I have to say about today. It's what I have to say about today, about what I think of records today. It's all just nostalgia stuff, but I mean, if I had to live with records, I would not like it because it's just too fragile, you know. The records are too fragile and they're just too bulky. Like for a DJ, if a DJ wanted to DJ with just only records only, then they would be bringing these big old boxes, like a million of these boxes of records, and it would be kind of a pain to go through all those. But the thing that I have to say that could be good about records versus cassettes is that it's for quick selecting of the track, like this, you know. I mean, what's nice about these records is that you could select the track real quick, not like a cassette. It's almost like a CD or even MP3, you know. It's like it's not. Oh shit! See, I did that again. Well, anyway, what's great about records, however, I could say, is it's the quick track selection, you know. Not like the, well, CDs, you know, like, yeah, even MP3s, it's almost as quick as MP3s as to select the tracks as an MP3. That's what was good about it. That's what I have to say is good. What's good about the records. About it. That's about it, really. That's about it. But anyway, so I hope you liked this video about what things are like for me. That's what I had in my 80s. But now today I do all MP3s now. I do strictly MP3s and everything. And I'll just use the cassettes in this car, you know, but I mean, MP3s, or I'm using the phone or YouTube. I use YouTube to play the music.